32 Thoughts now presented by GMC and the new Sierra AT4X. We welcome in Elliotte, Friedman, and Marek. You see them everywhere doing their thing each and every week in exceptional fashion. And we got to start with a big story that continues to roll on. We'll start with you, Jeff. Latest on the Canucks.
It's almost over. Well, no, there'll be another chapter to the saga, but the first part is almost over. So on Monday, we expect Rick Tocchet to be announced as the next head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. And as the first intermission panel talked about, nobody likes the way this has unfolded. Nobody likes the way this has been handled. But Bruce Boudreau leaves very much with his integrity intact, his head held high. I think he's gained a lot of respect around the league for just, refusing to fire back when he's been demeaned or insulted. I don't know if Vancouver is planning to allow him to have a press conference. I think we all hope that they will, so Bruce Boudreau can, say goodbye properly. But, safe to say, Elliotte, this slow, long walk to the electric chair is almost over for Boudreau.
There's no question, Jeff, that the way Boudreau has handled this is going to open up some more doors for him. Okay, a couple other things here. We've been talking the last few days about Sergei Gonchar potentially joining the team as on a part-time basis or a consulting basis as an assistant coach. We expect that to happen. I think also another name you're going to hear is going to be Adam Foote, the longtime NHL defenseman who won 2 Stanley Cups in Colorado and an Olympic gold medal. I think it's possible he's going to be joining the staff too. The other thing that we've been talking about a lot is Bo Horvat. And Jeff, what have you said that Vancouver is looking for Horvat?
3 players, including a top prospect.
Okay, so there was a lot of talk about this in the last 24 to 48 hours, and I think the reason is I'm getting the impression that Vancouver is separating the teams who are willing to consider that or continue down that level of conversation from the teams that won't. And I think that's what's kind of been going on here, is Vancouver is figuring out who's really serious. I don't believe there's anything imminent at this time, but I do think the Canucks know who's in the game and who isn't.
All right, well, listen, this could be leading up to one of the greatest trade deadlines we've ever seen because there's so many big names out there. We're waiting for the first shoe to drop in Vancouver. Yeah. What about Chicago? 2 future Hall of Famers maybe on the list.
And this, listen, this conversation goes back 6 or 7 months now. We've been talking about Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane and their future with the Chicago Blackhawks. And I think all the parties involved here thought that by now the picture would be a little bit more clear. Both these players hold no move clauses, and I think everyone involved thought we'd get a better snapshot of who's in, who's out, who's a contender, where can these guys go. But with so many teams in contention right now, injury is always a factor. It doesn't sound as if Patrick Kane or Jonathan Toews are prepared to make any type of decision until mid-February. And I'll tell you one thing, as someone told me today, the injury to Max Pacioretty in Carolina may just make things that much more interesting for both those 2 gentlemen, David, and maybe other players that could be moved at deadline as well.
David Pastrnak, I said last week, please don't get carried away, but we believe there was some progress. I'm going to stick to that this week. Please don't get carried away, but I do think the Bruins and Pastrnak continue to move towards an eventual extension. Nothing done until it's done, but it seems to be going in that direction.
All right, what about Columbus? Because Gavrikov's this talented defenseman. Could he be on the move and maybe to a Canadian team?
I do think Edmonton and Toronto are among the teams who've looked into Gavrikov. What's interesting here is that Columbus is allowing teams to speak to him. So we have seen this with Timo Meier. I think the Sharks will allow teams to speak to Meier. I don't believe the Canucks will allow teams to speak to Horvat, but now Columbus is allowing teams to speak to Gavrikov as they try to facilitate potentially a trade for the free agent defenseman, Jeff.
I do believe, further on Gavrikov, I do believe that Columbus's preference would have been to re-sign the talented defenseman. Listen, and I don't think that's going to be able to happen. $2.8 million is the AAV on the package there for Gavrikov, and just about any contending team can slide that into their payroll. I think Columbus is looking for a package along the lines of a David Savard deal that was a first and a third, or a Ben Sherratt, that's a first plus there, David.
All right, I know you have some news on some other players, and let's start. The biggest news today really in the NHL is the Cole Caulfield news. If you missed it, shoulder surgery, out for the year. What else can you tell us?
Well, this has been talked about for the last 8 to 10 days between all parties involved here. In the last few games, watching Cole Caulfield, although he looked really good to my eyes, the last couple of games pretty much cinched it, and I think all parties involved here just said, listen, let's look to next season, get the surgery done, and both sides are gonna still negotiate here in good faith. And one of the things to watch for in this upcoming deal for Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, their captain, is the highest paid player on the Montreal Canadiens active roster at $7.8 million. Can Caulfield climb higher than that, or are they using Nick Suzuki as a ceiling. One more thing I want to mention as well, just players to watch out for. Maybe we'll call these change of scenery deals. Jansen Harkins with the Winnipeg Jets, some teams have called there. Every time he gets sent to the American League, he tears it up and trying to find a full-time spot in the NHL. Maybe a change of scenery there. And also Riley Demiani of the Dallas Stars. He's been in the American League all season, was one of the final cuts at Dallas Stars camp. They went the Wyatt Johnson route. It's been frustrating there. You wonder if maybe a change of scene can help this player.
Wow, dog days of the NHL season, but a lot going on. A lot of players' names out there in the news. Elliotte and Jeff.
You should make this a permanent job, Dave.
Yeah.
You're not bad.
32 thoughts. There it is.